Gotham was a boy living in a peaceful town. He was neither exceptionally gifted nor lacking in ability. He had big dreams but struggled with one major issue: a lack of discipline. He often procrastinated, ignored small tasks, and failed to maintain consistent habits. Although he always made ambitious plans, he would say, "I'll start tomorrow," but that tomorrow never came. His family and teachers advised him to change, but Gotham believed that only big efforts could lead to success. Since major changes seemed too difficult, he never took action. One day, he met Professor Ano, a man renowned for his wisdom. When the professor learned about Gotham's struggles, he asked, "Do you know the secret to success?" Gotham shook his head, curious. The professor smiled and said, "Success doesn't come from one big action, but from small daily habits." The story of the bamboo tree that the professor shared helped Gotham realize his mistake. Instead of waiting for a big transformation, he understood that success starts with small but consistent actions every day. Rohan was an intelligent and hardworking boy with big dreams. However, he had one bad habit. He talked too much about his plans. Whenever he had a new idea, he shared it with everyone, seeking praise and encouragement. Despite always talking about success, he had achieved very little in reality. One day, Rohan met Guruji, a wise master in the village. Guruji asked, "Have you achieved anything from all these plans?" Rohan hesitated and admitted that he often failed. Guruji smiled and told him the story of Dev, a hardworking farmer who never spoke about his dreams. Dev quietly worked for years and achieved success that no one had expected. Guruji said, "Talking too much can drain your motivation and invite discouragement from others." After hearing this, Rohan realized his mistake. He decided to speak less and act more. By focusing on work rather than words, he gradually achieved success and understood that silence is one of the greatest strengths a person can have. After hearing the story of the farmer Dev, Rohan started reflecting on himself. Guruji continued, "When you talk too much about your goals, two things happen. First, not everyone will support you. Some people may discourage you. Second, speaking too much makes you feel as if you've already achieved your goal, which leads to a loss of motivation." Rohan suddenly realized that he had spent too much time talking about success instead of working for it. He asked Guruji, "Can I still change?" Guruji smiled and said, "Of course. From today, speak less and act more. Let success speak for you." From that moment, Rohan started to change. He stopped boasting about his plans and focused on taking action. He studied hard, worked diligently, and avoided unnecessary conversations. At first, this change was difficult, but over time, he realized that he accomplished more by being silent and focusing on his goals. When the exams ended, Rohan topped the school. His friends and teachers were surprised by his remarkable progress. When asked about his secret, Rohan simply smiled, remembering Guruji's words, "Be silent and get everything." Years later, Rohan became a successful entrepreneur. His story inspired many people, proving that silence and action matter more than words. After understanding the power of silence, Rohan was determined to change. He no longer shared his plans with everyone and instead focused on action. He studied hard, stayed committed to his goals, and avoided unnecessary discussions. At first, staying silent was not easy, but over time, Rohan realized that the less he spoke, the more time and energy he had to work. His discipline and focus led to incredible results. When the final exams were announced, Rohan was the top student in the school. His friends and teachers were amazed by his transformation. When asked about his secret to success, Rohan simply smiled and remembered Guruji's lesson, "Be silent and get everything." Years later, Rohan became a successful entrepreneur. Those who once knew him admired his transformation. They realized that silence is not a sign of weakness, but a way to focus on what truly matters. Rohan's story became a source of inspiration for many. He proved that success doesn't come from words, but from persistent action. Silence helps people avoid negativity, protects motivation, and allows them to dedicate all their energy to their goals. Actions are always more powerful than words, and success will speak for itself when the time is right. After learning from Guruji, Rohan decided to transform himself. He stopped talking about his plans and focused on real action. He studied diligently, stayed committed to his goals, and avoided unnecessary conversations. Initially, keeping silent was challenging, but gradually, Rohan realized that the less he spoke, the more time and energy he had to work. He no longer needed validation from others and found motivation within himself. When the exams ended, everyone was astonished. Rohan had topped the school. His friends and teachers were shocked by his outstanding progress. When asked about his secret, Rohan simply smiled and remembered Guruji's words, "Be silent and get everything." Years later, Rohan became a successful entrepreneur. His story inspired many, proving that success comes not from words but from persistent action. Silence is not weakness. It is a way to protect dreams and stay focused on goals.